Welcome to Beyond the Box, where we celebrate neurodiversity, we share stories that inspire, challenge, and uplift. I'm Emma Mphahlele, your host, and today we have a truly special guest with us, Amelia 𝐼𝐫𝐬𝐿. She's not only a former colleague here at Kids Innovate Africa, but she's also an exceptional robotics and animation coach. Also, she's currently studying BSc in Biomedical Mathematical Sciences at the University of Stellenbosch. What we remember or what we miss about Amelia, having been our former colleague, is her kindness, how smart she was. She was very focused, but she also had a wicked sense of humor. But what I loved about you, Amelia, is how lovingly you supported your colleagues here when things were getting tough and challenging. You're always there, being empathetic, but also helping our colleagues come up with solutions here at Kids Innovate Africa. It's such an honor to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really nice being back as well and doing this with you guys.
Thank you. Firstly, I'm curious, what is a biomedical mathematical science? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly.
No, that's perfect. So the reason why I'm going into this field is because it combines aspects of like mathematics and then medicine, so biology, to help come up with solutions. So I'm hoping to eventually, after doing my honors, to do my master's in biomedical engineering. And I want to help create, so I don't know exactly which direction I want to go in with that field, like whether or not I want to create prosthetics or if I want to like actually work more in the like health portion of it, so like using nanobots for drug delivery. So I'm still kind of deciding where exactly I like want to fit into the like end aspect of the field. But you know, I'm going to use this time where I'm actually just working towards getting my degree to decide where I want to, like what I want to do my honors in and what I want, like what direction I want to take my master's in as well.
It sounds so exciting and also very smart, right? Very, very intelligent field of study. But I'm curious, if I study that course and I only have a degree, where can I work? What can I do?
It's a relatively new degree, actually. So I don't know exactly how job prospects look in South Africa, but I do know that overseas it's in like fairly high demand. But I've also heard like a couple stories of people saying that it is hard to get work in this field. And I will say that I think it is because it is a relatively new field as well. So while there are jobs opening up, it might be difficult for some people to find work because of how new it is. So there's, you know, there's not as many like companies looking for biomedical engineers as there will be for like electricians or people who are like who can do coding, like �𝐴𝐵. But you know, it's a journey and we'll see where I get at the end.
It is absolutely a journey and it's so exciting, so much like you, to go for the new, you know, and innovative fields. I mean, that's a new field.
My mom actually suggested it because
your mom is an engineer, right?
My mom is an engineer. So she actually did not want me to do engineering. I was like, maybe I should become an engineer. And she's like, no. But then she suggested this. And she was like, yeah, it looks so exciting because, you know, you mostly like, you don't really interact with people in this career. And she kind of knew that like interacting with others is not my forte. I don't do very well with that. Because I did really want to be a doctor. That was like, I feel like for a lot of students who go into BScs, being a doctor was their first option. Like oftentimes it was their first choice and then they like didn't get in, so then they go for like something else.
Okay, which is more like you wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor.
I did, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. And the fact that I didn't get into medicine was for the best, because talking to patients every day and like, you know, their grief and their sadness, I don't think that's something that I personally would have been able to handle really well, because I don't do well with compartmentalizing things. So it definitely would have affected me. So I'm really happy with what I am studying currently. It's exciting. And I found a community of people who are like in their first year studying the same thing that I am. And there's like 20 of us. 20
of you studying this course?
Yes.
It's quite a small number of people. So it's a very specialized field. I'm very curious. I mean, I'm a curious person just like you. So likely we may spend this whole episode talking about this because I'm intrigued. And thanks to your mom for knowing, understanding your personality to be able to advise you to say, my daughter, you won't do well in this field because you're looking at your strengths. So which was kind of
I was not having it at the beginning.
You're like, I'm going to be a medical doctor.
Everything's going to be fine. And I did not want to go into this field. And then I selected it. I was like, fine, I'm going to do this. And I was so worried the first few weeks of university because I was like, I can't find anyone studying the same thing that I'm studying. Like, there's so many people studying human life sciences. There's so many people studying like this and this and this. And I'm like, where are the people studying like what I'm studying? And then I finally found some people and I was like, wow. And then we also had a talk with students who are like starting their honours year, who were talking about like where they want to take their studies further, like doing their masters
in this field.
Yeah, in bioengineering. So they were talking about like wanting to do their masters in bioengineering. They were talking about like, oh, if you do your honours in this, then this is kind of the path you'll take when you do your masters, and if you do it in this, then this is the path you'll take. So it felt really exciting to learn about like the prospects, and I was like, oh, there is a future and it does look exciting, and I'm not alone, because I felt so alone. I was like, there's no one studying this, I'm going to be homeless.
And you find your tribe.
I found other people, and it felt very nice.
That's good. That's very good. And now we're gonna kind of start at the beginning. I know we talked about your area, your field of study. I'm gonna be doing research about it because I'm intrigued. So let's start at the beginning. You started university this year, your first year. Beautiful taste of freedom. Oh, finally I'm on my own. I've got my own life. I'm doing my own thing, right? But for other people, freedom can be a bit overwhelming.
Definitely.
And I'm curious how that experience was like, being a first year student, away from home, tasting freedom, and how that whole process looked like for you at the beginning of the year.
So I feel like my taking a gap year last year really did help me develop a sense of like responsibility around my independence. So even though I did have access to this freedom, like starting the beginning of the year, I knew that a certain level of responsibility comes with that because of working last year. Like I didn't have my mom dropping me off at work every day. I had to make sure that like I was on the bus on time to get to work. I was in charge of like my own work here, and I had to get it done and make sure that I was like, correct and things like that. Like I had to manage my own time. And even though like, I got paid for the work that I did, and that like money gives you like that also sense of like freedom, because you can like spend it how you wish. I learned a lot of responsibility. Like, no, a lot of work went behind the money that I earned. I'm not just going to go blow it in one day.
Wow.
So I feel like that taught me a lot. Like starting university, I was like, I have this freedom. I can do like whatever I want. I don't necessarily need to study, but that time and effort that you put in, it's going to pay off for like when you actually are busy in your holidays relaxing, and you don't have to go back to university to write like an A. I had to come back to write an A3, so I'm like saying this, but I had to come back to write an A3. But like at least I didn't have to come back and write one for all my modules. It was just for one I was struggling with. But so
amazing.
I also spoke to like another student, and he had mentioned that like that sense of freedom that you get in university can be difficult for students who have ADHD or short attention spans. And he also spoke a bit about the rise of like social media. Like TikTok is a really short it's a short form content platform. So because you're watching these like 30-second to 1 minute long videos, and you can just like scroll past, it does develop like very much so does play on your like shortening of your attention span. So I definitely feel like because of that, we see a lot of students who might not necessarily have ADHD, but they do suffer from short attention spans. Like that's becoming more prevalent because it's harder to concentrate. Like you can't even sit through like a minute long video without pressing the 2 times button. That sense of freedom specifically associated with like individuals with short attention spans and ADHD, and how it can be difficult because you don't have your parents like hovering over your shoulder, like you need to study, and you are now responsible for it, but it's hard to get that motivation, even if you know you need to study. For people with ADHD or with this short attention span, it's hard to sit down and concentrate. It's hard to get the motivation to learn. And I can actually very much so relate to that, because when you're doing something that you are not interested in, it is hard. Like I know that it's very difficult for me when I'm doing like a subject or, you know, a section in one of my modules that I'm just not interested in. It's hard to get that desire to like learn.
And sure, you literally, the way you answered this got me thinking quite a bit, because now there's some kind of correlation. Obviously for others is a neurological as a neurotype, being ADHD and having a short attention span obviously is a spectrum. But the comparison with people that are addicted to social media, particularly short videos, that actually affects their attention span eventually.
I'm pretty sure it's because of the dopamine hits that you get from like, you know, like scrolling past videos and then reaching a video that like, haha, like you get your laughs out of it. And the whole purpose of like dopamine hits is that they happen like very quickly, and because of like it's instant gratification essentially. I would say that it's equivalent to like, instead of like knowing that you can like make your own clothing, but instead going to the shop and buying a dress, because that instant gratification of like having it in your hands now, even though you know I have the fabric at home, I know that I have the capabilities to make this dress. Or, you know, seeing something in the shops, and instead of like waiting on it, or instead of knowing, oh, like this is something that I could actually just make at home, that instant gratification of like buying that thing right away, right off the rack, and then you just have it. So it's the same with like scrolling through social media. You just get this instant gratification the second you come across a video that you like are really interested in. It's that dopamine hit. It's that constant flux of like, you're just getting more and more information. And I think it definitely does, like, because you know, when you have to study, you have to sit down and you have to work and you have to like be able to concentrate on something. You're not getting that instant dopamine hit of like, you know, completing a video or something like that.
Sure. Wow, that's very insightful. I think we need an episode just on that, right? But I like that you're aware, you know, how your work experience has helped you manage the sense of the sense of freedom that you get when you go to university. But how do you find the balance? Like, how do you find that balance?
It was really difficult for me to find balance in university, and I know that it can be difficult for a lot of people. So like, again, just like neurodiversity, it is a spectrum when it comes to balance and what is balance for you. So for me, I was spending a lot of my time working when I knew that I needed to take breaks, and for other people, they're on the other side of that spectrum and they spend a lot of time, you know, on the socializing instead of on the working aspect of university, and finding that balance where and again, like, balance means different things for different people. So like, having autism, I don't have as intense of a social desire as some other people. Like, some people, you know, they require social interaction like very often. I don't. I like my alone time. I don't enjoy like external stimuli, and usually like being around people means that for me. I like my alone time and I enjoy that, but I still know that I need to socialize, which, like, making a friend in university, going through the same thing that I was like coming out of a gap year and then having to like relearn everything all over again. Like, we connected quite a lot, and that helped me a lot because I got the socializing aspect, but not to the extent where it would overwhelm me and like cross my cross where my needs like kind of draw a line.
Absolutely, your boundaries.
And then other people are obviously like different and they require like a lot of socializing, and that's totally fine. It's just knowing that, you know, you need this balance of like, I'm meeting my social needs and I'm meeting my work-based needs, because you need to study for university to like pass and get through. Like, you're meeting all of these needs while also still like ensuring that you're performing academically.
Yeah, I just like that you've also kind of also shared that you have a friend already at university, because that time for many students can be very isolating. You're in a new environment, you are studying something you maybe don't have full information about, some new concepts. And so it's less isolating when you have somebody on the side.
Yeah, definitely. When I went into university, I went in with like, I did not know a single person that I was like going to university with. Some people like go to university and they know, oh, my friend's going to Stellies. My friend's going to UCT, my friend's going to like this and this place. Like they usually, like some people know that their friends are going to be there. I did not know anyone that was going to university. So I was really nervous. But then I met my, it's actually surprisingly easy to make friends in university. And this is coming from someone who like struggles to make friends.
That's what I was going to ask you. So how did you meet this friend? Like what was the first conversation like?
Our first conversation was us crashing out over math. So we connected a lot over that. But I feel like the reason why I like say that university is like it's easy to make friends in university is because there's such a large pool of people to like there's such a large pool of people to meet, and like instead of like high school where maybe you would have like a friend or two, if even, because again like high school is difficult for me to also make friends, you won't always find like-minded people, people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, or people that like understand you. Like being someone in high school with autism, I didn't have anyone that I knew in high school who also had autism and who understood like why I was struggling so much, like with social cues, with friendships, just with social interaction in general. And university is so different because even though my friend doesn't have autism, she like gets me so completely, and it's very comforting knowing that I have someone who relates to me on so many levels, because life can be lonely, university can be lonely, and university is one of the worst places to be alone in because it's so stressful and because it's so tough. Like you need a support system. And if you like are in university but you don't live close to home, like you are staying at res and your family is like hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, it is so tough to be there all by yourself. And that's why it's like so essential to make sure that you have a proper support system, you have good friends. And I haven't met any like people in university that I've kind of like side-eyed and been like, that's so high school with your behavior. Like I'm lucky that I haven't like met anyone like that. But people like that definitely exist. And you know, you're going to like, while I like don't have personal experience with having any single like bad friendship in university, it is definitely possible to make friends, and those people that you've made friends with are not good people. And that is like that's okay. It's just kind of like the name of the game. You're going to find bad people everywhere. It's just important to find your people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it takes longer for other people. Like all throughout high school, I did not find my people. Actually, only close to the end of high school did I like reconnect with like my people. And you know, it took so many years for me to get to that point, and it was worth it. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm also curious whether in university it's easy because you all have the same goal. Like, you know, I struggle with math, or I'm doing so well in math, but I need somebody to help me with statistics or whatever modules that you're doing. And then you form friendship. That way it becomes easier because you have a common goal. But not only that, you're a little bit more mature than when you were in school.
I don't know what's really like. I know that like the people that I'm friends with, like they are really good people, but like if you've seen the university groups, like the things that go on there, you wouldn't really be saying that they are a little bit more mature, because not to like, it's just sometimes I just see the messages and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I like how you're unpacking this mental health issue, and I also like how you're talking about destigmatizing it. The more we talk about it, the more we're candid about it, the more people realize, you know, this is life. You know, there's no need to hide. But it also makes it more comfortable for other people to know it's part of the journey. But what I do like about what you've said is the fact that people become aware, people get out of their shell, but also it can be therapeutic as well to talk about these things.
Yeah, definitely. Like, again, like it is such a vulnerable thing to be open about your emotions, because especially like when you are so vulnerable, like I again was at like some of my lowest points in university. There were some really bad moments when it came to like viewing my self-worth, and being open about that to anybody can be extremely difficult, because you do open yourself up to potential judgment for like how you feel. You open yourself up to like people not understanding how you feel, and that's what makes it so difficult to actually be like open to others. But it is so important to be vulnerable, and it also is just such a big sign of strength when you can be vocal about it. Obviously, like at your own time. I'm not saying that like, you know, something goes wrong in your day and you need to just go tell someone right away. Like everyone has to do things at their own pace. And if you need to take a day or two where you don't talk to anybody, that is totally fine. But making sure that you do speak to people, because that outlet is so important. Having those conversations are so important. Making sure that you're vocal about things that you're going through so you can receive the help that you need and the support that you need is so important. Like I could not have gotten through this year. I still have part of this year to get through, but like I couldn't have gotten to where I am if it wasn't for, you know, my mom's support, my friends' support, and my boyfriend's support. Like they had all played such like a big role, and just like being there for you, and like it, like talking to them. Sometimes, you know, you do go into a situation like that and you're like, you know, all my problems are going to be solved the minute that I speak to someone. That's not true. I still would leave a conversation with my mom feeling, you know, that low. But the difference is that part of that burden my mom would take up when I kind of shed it and I speak to her. It's like part of me would be like slightly relieved from the weight that I was carrying, because my mom would like not necessarily take it off of me, but she would help me pick it up. Like she would be standing there by my side, like I'm carrying this massive bag, and she would be at the back kind of lifting it up a bit. And all the people that I would speak to that would like, you know, give me advice or just listen, kind of would also be standing there lifting the bag up, and that I knew that I like wasn't alone in picking up this weight. It was still by me, but it was less heavy. Even though it was the same weight, it was less heavy because other people were also picking it up and helping me lift it and helping me walk towards that finish line. And that's like was such a massive impact in like me actually making it to where I am in university, because there were moments where I wanted to give up, where I was like, what's the point?
I quit.
And there was a day where I was like, I quit. And you know what? Having a day where like I quit, doing nothing, sitting in your room, skipping your lectures, valid. Having a day where you do nothing, sometimes the world won't slow down, but you need to slow down. The world will keep moving, lectures will continue, people will be going there, stuff will be happening. Sometimes you just need to close your door, close your curtains, and let the world around you just feel like it's slowing down. You need to you need to relax. You need to take time for yourself. That is fine.
That's
having
so
those
powerful.
moments.
That's really, really powerful coming from a young person, Amelia. It's so freeing. I like that, you know, what Amelia has said here, just sharing what you're going through. Obviously, you don't want to be vulnerable in all the other wrong places, but, you know, being vulnerable with your family, sharing with them, your friends, and the support groups around you. And all of a sudden, that weight doesn't feel that heavy because there's a community that's helping you carry the load. That's such a powerful insight that Amelia has just shared. Let's move to academics now, Amelia. Already, so we are going to move to academics. Already you were one of our best exceptional robotics and animation coaches. We don't stop talking about you. We don't stop talking about how you managed your work. I mean, some of our new interns will tell you. We still talk about Amelia. She's focused. She get her job done. She's structured. She knows, you know, how she's going to have her work executed. And she had moments where, like, okay, I'm done with my work. I'm just going to chill or just walk around, which was so beautiful to see. So you were very, very good at what you did here. And I'm curious how that translated into your life as somebody in academia.
I'm still pretty good with like time management, because I think that was a major thing, like working here, was like I was just good with my time and like managing it, knowing how much time to set aside for things. I'm still pretty good with it now, currently in university. I will say the only thing is I am suffering from burnout, because the workload is so much. Like you'll finish your lectures and then you'll be studying, or you'll be completing like work and tasks and stuff until like 8, 9 p.m. So like from when you finish your lectures, so like let's say you finish at like 1 p.m. From like 1 you'll be like working until like 9, and then like you'll have like a chance to just kind of like relax. Obviously like everyone's schedule looks different, but that's like what mine looked like at the beginning of the semester. That's like how my schedule looked, and it was, you know, it's rough like having such a long period of like where you were studying. So I'm like looking into going on to like ADHD medication to help with my concentration, because I do take long to complete tasks. Like even while I was working, yeah, I knew how long I took to complete things. I just was good with like managing my time and making sure that like I got things done when I needed to, but I can take quite long to complete things, and that's just kind of resulted in burnout in university as well, especially because the workload is so long. Like I can't take long to complete a task now and then still have some time to like, you know, walk around like what I was doing here. Because once that task is complete, another one like just fills its place. So I've just been like struggling a lot with burnout and things like that. So I'm looking at going on to like a short form, a short acting Ritalin for that like little burst that I need for like sitting down and studying.
Just to help you to
and also just to monitor and see if I do notice a difference. Like if that short acting Ritalin actually does result in me completing my work at a faster pace, but still with the same level of like, you know, that I'm like used to presenting.
Like the same level of quality.
Quality.
So was there a time, Millie, during your studies where you thought, all my other strategies are working, but they're not working as optimally as I expect them to work? I'm focused, yes, my time management is good, but my focus level now have to match the demands of the university life. Was there a time where you thought, I need to reach out and get help?
Very early on.
Okay, that's good.
Like you already, like the work already starts piling up like week 1. And it was so hectic. I was like, you know, I have week 1, I have week 2, I had week 3 somewhat under control, and then after that everything just went downhill, and I was like, I can't even attend lectures anymore because I don't have time for this. And I was reaching out to my mom mostly, like telling her what was going on. And yeah, just like having her be there for me and tell me like everything's going to be okay. Like you are in charge of making decisions for yourself. If you think that the choice to like not attend classes is the best decision for you, then that is the best decision for you. So she was very supportive, and she was again, like you have this person telling you like you know, you're worthy, you're fine, everything's good, but then you have all of these things in your head that's like telling you the opposite, and it's very difficult. But like having her say those things, even if I didn't believe it in the moment, was a really major like catalyst in getting me to, you know, start handling things better. And then once I had my June holidays, everything happened there, like with getting diagnosed with depression and all of those things. But then once I started like recovering close to the end of my like June, it was like June, July, so close to the end of July, once I started like recovering, I was just like better equipped to like handle everything.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's actually very good, because some people don't seek help straight away, right? So it's nice to be able to get the help and cry for help. Millie, even though most people go to university to just get that certificate, to just graduate, going to university is actually much more than that. It's a time to explore, and I think you touched on this slightly earlier. It's a time to explore, understand yourself, get to know yourself, but also grow emotionally. Can you talk to us a little bit about finding your tribe, how that's like, the social life within the university?
For me, it was like pretty easy to find people that, you know, I am really happy to say are my friends. I feel like, again, because university is such a big pool of people, it's so easy to find, well, maybe not necessarily for everyone, like in everyone's experiences, it might not necessarily be easy for them to have like found their people, but because there's such a large pool, like there's so many more options, and the likelihood that you find people that, you know, you can relate to, that have similar experiences to you, is much higher than it was in high school. And I've never been happier with the friendships that I've made. Like in high school, I did have some really, really amazing friends, but it took me a while to get to that point with my friendships. For the longest time, I didn't have like the best friends. But here in university, for some reason, I just like made friends so quickly, and I made one of the someone that I would consider like a forever friend. And I was not expecting going into university. Like my first day that I arrived, I was very shy. I was not speaking much because it takes me a while to like warm up to people. And the girl and I actually like met each other that first day that I'm now friends with. And, you know, we barely interacted with each other. And now, like looking back at it, seeing like where we are, like, you know, we're there for each other constantly. Like she bought me a cinnamon roll the other day because I have been like pretty sick and not feeling so great. And I remember like sneaking into her room to like drop off some candy and things for her after she finished writing physics, because I don't take physics this semester. So I wanted to like show her, like surprise her after her test with something. Like we just like do these things for each other, and it's like, looking back at like where we started and where we are now, it's insane to think that I've made like such a great connection with someone. And I definitely think that one of the major contributors to us like being so connected and like becoming friends so fast is because we were traumatized because of math. Our joint trauma because of math is what you know, started this friendship. So you know, I do strongly believe that math is evil, but maybe,
well, she didn't quite say that, but
who knows? But maybe it's not so bad if it can bring people together, like the pain that it causes. Because the pain of math definitely brought us together. Like you know, looking back at it, I have math to thank for my friendship, which I never thought I would ever say in my entire life. But yeah, I feel like, you know, there's just such like a plethora of options of people out there. It's so much easier to find people who are like-minded. Like I really feel like this person that I'm friends with, she's like the yin to my yang. Like,
wow, sure. What a lovely friend you've got.
Like, I don't know, we just get each other. Like she'll say something and I'll say the exact same thing. Like we'll just think the same things, and I'm like, this is kind of spooky, this is kind of creepy. But it's really wonderful as well. Like I really do feel like university is such a great space to make friends, and I've never felt more, I don't, like, normal is not the word, but I would say like neurotypical, I suppose. Like I've never felt more like, wow, why is it so easy for me to speak to people and to make friends? Because I'm just so much more like confident and vocal. And I also think that like taking the gap year was a big contributor to my increase in confidence. But I'm still like pretty shy, but for some reason it's just become so much easier for me to make friends. Like,
that's beautiful.
Like I've made more friends this year than what I made during my high school career, like my entire high school career. In 1 year I made more friends than that, and it's like insane to think.
That's amazing, Amelia, the way you're bringing out, because if you are in high school now, or your child is in high school and they are feeling daunted about going to university, you know, you will have a lot of options as far as making friends is concerned. And it's important that you make friends, because
the key is like also not to put pressure on yourself though, to like make those friendships, because again, everyone does things at their own pace. And when it comes to like neurodiverse people, especially like people with like autism, things that result in them like not having the best social cues, not really understanding how, like, social interactions, like when it comes to things like that, I feel like it's just so important to understand like your child is gonna, like, you know, make friends at their own pace. Like things are gonna work out at their own pace. Like you are going to make friends, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will happen at your own pace. Like again, like I said, me and this girl saw each other the first day. We didn't just become friends the first day for the sake of becoming friends. It happened naturally. And it progressed from there, and now I consider her one of the best friends that I've made, like in university.
And there was something that connected you together. That moment of being, being humbled by mathematics, because at high school you were pure genius in maths. Both of you, and now all of a sudden your performance has kind of dropped just for a short period of time, obviously.
Oh no, so every semester there's a new drop.
So that connected you with her. So having a quality friendship is important from what I'm picking up. And I like the gestures that you and your friends are doing for each other. Something as simple as a Cinnabon, it can make you feel so happy, right? So and if I'm hearing you correctly, Amelia, you're kind of almost stressing the quantity doesn't really matter as far as friendships making friends is concerned. It's the quality that counts, and that's kind of like what you and your friend have.
Every friend that I've made in university are like such amazing people. And I didn't push myself to like just have like a massive friend group. Like I was just friends with her. Like I was friends with her and another girl at the beginning of the year. I just had like 2 friends at the beginning of the year. And I was okay with that. I was fine with that. And then I started progressively making more and more friends as the year continued going. And every single person that I became friends with, like, they're just so awesome and amazing and wonderful people. And I couldn't be more happy to have met the people that I have met in university. Like, I'm extremely lucky because I know that some of the people that you meet in university are not the greatest people, as is life. That's fine. But I'm so lucky to have just like met such amazing people, like everywhere that I look. And it's so fulfilling to have good people as your friends, like have these wonderful people as your friends.
That are genuine and they genuinely care about you.
Like, I would rather just have like one really excellent friend than like a whole group of just friends that actually don't have my back. And having this group of people that are these wonderful, amazing friends, I have never felt more supportive. Like I am able to reach out to my mom. I'm able to reach out to like a number of friends in university. It is crazy to think that I have access to this many people who care about me during my ups and my downs.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And now listening to you, Amelia, what I'm appreciating about what you're saying is the fact that it's a give and take relationship. How you go and surprise your friend with some candy after writing a tough exam. So it's not only does the quantity not matter, but the quality of the few friends that you have. It's quite important from what I'm hearing here. So now let's move on to maybe you can talk to the parents that are listening right now. Because you've been lucky to get such an amazing support from mom. And something that I haven't mentioned to our audience at home is that Amelia, as a former colleague here at Kids Innovate Africa, she and her mom participated and supported our quarterly celebrating neurodiversity quite a lot. And Amelia's mom so much because as she's an engineer, Amelia has mentioned, but she's also developed, she's an entrepreneur. She developed some really beautiful, I think it's healthcare products.
Skincare.
Yeah, skincare products made from plants. And she was quite generous to gift to some of the parents that were attending our Celebrating Neurodiversity event. So, and she got to share her experience as a mom as well, raising a child who is different, but also a child who's very genius as well at the same time. She got to share that with the parents. And I would like for you, Amelia, at this point to just engage and share with the mom or the dad who's listening right now, or even the caretaker, about what are some of the key things they can consider in supporting a child who's transitioned into university, particularly one who's neurodivergent.
I would say like my biggest thing is don't hold your child's marks against them, especially during like the first, like I would say like it's different for different people. Like the guy that I spoke to who has ADHD and was talking about his experience within the university, spoke about how his first year regarding his marks was amazing. But then his second year, he dropped quite a lot. And his parents supported him. And like that's just kind of where I'm trying to get at is don't hold your child's marks against them. Don't, like, it's so easy for your child to get into their head and think that their marks are a direct reflection of like the amount of hard work that they put in, or like how intelligent they are. And that's not the case whatsoever. Just because I like failed math doesn't suddenly mean that I'm less of an intelligent person or less hardworking than what I know that I am. And
or less of a human being.
Yeah, just like less of a person because of like that mark. It just means that like, you know, math got the best of me. And, you know, while that battle might have been won, the war is yet to be over, and I will come back. So math just better wait. But yeah, so I like, your child is already going to have this idea in their head that like their mark are a reflection of them. They're gonna you know, feel very inadequate, especially if they're students that already come from like such like had made like they already have such a high standard regarding their marks in high school. They are going like no one in this world can be more harsh regarding their performance than they will be. And you as parents, like while it might be a shock, like, oh, my student's coming from like 80s and 90s to, you know, like 60s and 50s and a 40 here, while it might be a shock for you as a parent to see those marks from your child, it's so important during this time to support them, because university is such an intense and hectic thing. Having parent support is so important during this time, like now more than ever. And it's just so important to make sure that, you know, you create judgment-free spaces where your child can share, because again, like sharing is such an important aspect to like the healing process. Me telling my mom about my marks and not being judged for them really helped make sure that like I just stayed mentally sane, because it is very jarring to come from where I was at and then see the marks that I'm seeing now. And you know, I just have to learn really quickly that these marks are not bad. And having my moms tell me that constantly was such a massive aspect to me being able to move out of this mindset that was actually just holding me back more than anything. Because like when you're just constantly thinking about like, you know, how you can be better, or, you know, where you're lacking, you never actually work on improving the things that go into like your learning habits and how you study for things. So I feel like that like would be my biggest like advice to parents, is just like is just supporting your child regardless of the marks that they're getting. And obviously like there will be situations where your child is just constantly partying and they're not studying. That's a whole different story. But when you know that your kid is hardworking and they are like studying and they are putting in the effort, and their marks just might not necessarily be reflecting that, it's just so important to be like free of that judgment to support your child.
That's very, very nice. The experience we're hearing from Amelia as a university student herself, it can be quite helpful in helping the parents. So, Amelia, this has been such an amazing chat, seeing you again, learning about your journey as a first-year student, thriving and doing really amazing at university. The last question that I want to ask you is, who is Amelia becoming at the end of this year, having gone through the experience that you are still going through?
Yeah, that's like a really difficult question to answer, mostly just because like I'm still discovering a lot about myself. Like this year I just learned a lot about like how my body works, like with, you know, elevated stress and how I'm underproducing serotonin as a result of that. I just got diagnosed with endometriosis. Like it's just been a really big learning process, and I just feel like I have a lot more to learn about myself in the years to come. But I definitely do think that I'm becoming a person that has a better understanding of how to handle the pressures of university. But second year comes with its like own degree of like pressures and things that you like have to complete. Like it's a whole different ball game second year from what I'm hearing from other students. And while that is very stressful, I do feel like I'm better equipped to handle it, mostly just because I understand more about like what balance means for me, and I understand how to set my time aside in a way that works for me. And I just know a lot more about myself. And while I'm not where I want to be at quite yet, I do feel a lot more confident that next year is going to be a little bit more while it will be more challenging, I do think that it will be a little bit more easy for me to handle, in the sense that like I'll just have a better understanding of where my limitations are at, and knowing when I need to like draw the line and be like, okay, it's time for a break. Because I definitely did overexert myself this year, and that just caused like a whole load of issues on its own. And while next year will still be challenging, and I will probably still have trouble waking up in the morning some days, I definitely do think that I just have a better understanding of like where I draw the line, like where I just kind of like, this is time for me to take a break. I need to rest now.
That is so powerful, Amelia. Your level of self-awareness is just amazing. And I like that you're sharing how this year you've spent learning about yourself, because most people, even adults, sometimes in the workplace, you go through life not really knowing yourself. And the fact that the link that you're making between your level of stress and your body performance, it's quite important. It's eye-opening, because now that you know what you can manage and what you can't, as you said, some of your limits, going into second year should be a little bit easier, in terms of how you approach it, because you know your health, you understand your health, you understand your limits, but you also know that there are strategies that which you shared earlier, you're putting in place to, for example, help you improve your focus, for example. That was so powerful, really. What do you want to say to students that are going through, that are looking at universities, going into university next year? What can you say? What's a piece of advice you can give?
I feel like the biggest piece of advice, which is something that the other guy that I had also spoken to, the one with ADHD, like he was talking about his experiences. He also mentioned this as well, and I feel like this is one of the biggest things that like pieces of advice that I would give to people, which is like, do not compare yourself to other people. Like, it is definitely easier said than done, because I would be sitting in a lecture and I would just see people like put their hands up and be like, I know the answer. And I would be like, what do you mean you know the answer? Like, I'm seeing a bunch of shapes in front of me and this is a math class. Why am I seeing triangles? What's going on? And like, why am I seeing I don't even know what I'm seeing. And they would just be like, I know the answer. And then, you would hear about how, like, 5 people in your class got 100%. And you're over here with a barely, like, passing mark, or, you just barely failed. And it's really rough when you look at all the people around you, they kind of form, like, representations of where you used to be, which is the same thing that this guy had also said. Like, he had gone to an event that they allowed for like the top students, they allowed the top students to go to, like they choose a number of them to go to this event, and he had said that he had like struggled really heavily with a kind of imposter syndrome. Like he would be around people who had achieved, like who were continuing to achieve when he knew that his marks had dropped. And I recognize that so much, like from where I'm at as well, which is like, I'll look at these people who are getting these 90s and these 80s, and I would be like, I used to be there, like in high school. And it's so like, you kind of feel like you're inadequate, like you shouldn't actually be in university because you're getting marks that are just scraping by. A mark is a mark. I feel like the main thing, like university isn't so fixated on marks like high school used to be. I feel like the main thing like that university wants to see is that you can manage your time. You can get the work done, because the workload is so hectic. Like I feel like they want to see that you can manage this workload more than anything. And like, marks are important, definitely. They definitely do get you like access to like, opportunities within university 100%, but those opportunities are not the be all end all, and the marks that you get are not the be all end all towards like, your worth. And I feel like that's like the biggest piece of advice is like, don't compare yourself to the people around you. You will never be them, and they will never be you, and that is totally fine and totally okay. You are your own person, and the marks that you receive, like start creating like a weight on like, this mark is something that I know is good for me. Like start like looking at your own performance and looking at, how you are performing and what is considered good for you. Don't look at an 80 and 90 and be like, that's a good mark. Look at I'm really like, with me, for example, I have been struggling with math since first semester, and I recently got a mark that was in the 60s, and that was amazing for me. Because I just finished a semester where I failed math, and I came back from that and I'm passing math. That was so, that mark is so worth celebrating for me. I am so proud of myself. And even though someone who is getting 80s and 90s, like if they were to get that mark, that would not be considered good for them. But that's because they're getting 80s and 90s. I'm not them. I just came back from failing math to getting a 60%. That is excellent for me. So start like creating, like like start weighing your successes on who you are as an individual, not who other people are and their performance.
That is so powerful, hearing it from a young person like you, Amelia. Thank you so much for letting us into your world, for being so open in sharing the challenges, but also the amazing journey that you've actually been going through university. And I think if what I'm taking away from this conversation is not only you approach university with humor, which is something I know you always had, but there's a lot of hope and there's a lot of strength in your journey that parents, caretakers, or students like you can take away from this conversation. And to you at home who's listening right now, I hope that Amelia reminds you that thriving doesn't mean having it all figured out. It's about growing, adapting, and showing up as your most authentic self. So keep celebrating neurodiversity in all its brilliance. Every journey is unique. Every mind is remarkable. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep going beyond the box. Please remember to like, to share, and to follow. That's it from us.